The beginning of curiosity. Hey everyone, welcome. If you love deep, emotional, and thrilling stories, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment. Let's get into it. I never planned to cheat. Never imagined myself as the kind of man who would betray his wife, the mother of my children. 7 years of marriage, 2 beautiful kids, a stable home in Chicago. Life was supposed to be solid. My wife, Vanessa, is everything a man could ask for. Beautiful, hardworking, and devoted. She's a nurse, saving lives, while I run my small trucking business. We weren't perfect, but we were good. At least I thought we were. Then I met her half-sister, Tiana. I'd heard whispers before I ever laid eyes on her. It started at a football viewing center with my boys. A few of them had been with her more than once. The way they talked about her had my head spinning. Man, Tiana ain't just a woman. She a whole experience. Best head I ever had. No lie. She got this thing she does with her tongue. Bro, you'd lose your mind. I laughed it off, shaking my head. I wasn't interested in no street tales, but deep down a spark of curiosity was lit. Who was this woman? And why did she have every man in the room grinning like they'd just won the lottery? I didn't have to wonder for long. The first time I saw her, she came over for a dinner. Vanessa had been talking about her sister coming to town, but I never expected her. Tiana was nothing like my wife. She was pure fire. Tall, curvy, with skin smooth like melted chocolate and a smile that could make a preacher sin. Her dress hugged every dangerous curve, and the moment our eyes met, she smirked, like she knew something I didn't, and maybe she did. That was the beginning. I was a good man until I wasn't. I should have shut it down from the start. I should have ignored the way Tiana moved, the way she talked, the way she looked at me like she knew my secrets before I even had them. But I didn't. After that first dinner, she became a regular in our home. Vanessa was thrilled. "It's good to have her around," she said, smiling as she folded laundry one night. "She's been through a lot. I just want her to feel like she has family. You know." I nodded, pretending to care, but my mind was on something else entirely, on Tiana. Every time she came over, I felt myself slipping. She was playful, but never in a way that would make Vanessa suspicious. She was careful, respectful even. But when my wife wasn't looking, she'd brush against me just enough to make me aware of her. When she laughed, it was always with a glance in my direction, her eyes holding mine for a second too long. And God, her scent, like vanilla and danger. The worst part? I started craving it. Then came the night that changed everything. Vanessa had a late shift, and I was home alone. The kids were asleep, and I was on the couch, halfway through a beer, when my phone lit up. A message. "Tiana, I'm outside." I frowned, my heart knocking against my ribs. I knew I should have ignored it. I should have told her to go home. But I didn't. I stepped outside to find her leaning against her car, wearing a tight crop top and jeans that clung to her hips like they were made for sin. She grinned. "Hey, big bro," she teased, her voice dripping with mischief. "I was in the neighborhood. Thought I'd stop by." I exhaled sharply, rubbing the back of my neck. "Vanessa ain't here." "I know." She stepped closer, too close. "You gonna let me in or what?" I hesitated. Everything in me screamed that this was a bad idea, but curiosity had already taken root in my soul. I opened the door and let her in. She walked inside like she owned the place, her hips swaying, her scent filling the air. She sat on the couch, crossing her legs slowly, watching me like a lion watching prey. "So," she said, smirking, "you ever wonder why all your boys talk about me?" I swallowed hard. "Tiana," she leaned forward, elbows on her knees. "I see how you look at me. You don't gotta pretend." I should have shut it down. I should have thrown her out. Instead, I sat down next to her, too close. Too damn close. I should have left. I should have stood up, walked out, and never looked back. But I didn't. Tiana was right next to me on the couch, her scent thick in the air, her body so close I could feel the heat radiating from her skin. She wasn't touching me, not yet, but her eyes, that smirk, the slow way she bit her bottom lip. It was a trap, and I was already caught. "I see how you look at me," she whispered again, leaning in. I exhaled, shaking my head. "This ain't right, Tiana. You my wife's sister." "Half-sister," she corrected, her voice smooth as silk. "And you ain't saying you don't want me." I opened my mouth to lie, to tell her she was wrong. But before I could, she reached over, her fingers tracing my jaw. That was it. I was done fighting. I grabbed her wrist, my breathing heavy. And in that moment, something shifted. It wasn't just lust. It was something raw, something forbidden. She smiled like she had won, like she had known all along that I wouldn't resist. Then she moved fast. She unzipped my jeans, her eyes never leaving mine. Before I could even think, she was on her knees, pulling me out, her tongue warm and wet as she took me into her mouth. "Shit," I groaned, my head falling back against the couch. Tiana wasn't just good. She was unreal. My fingers tangled in her curly hair as she worked me with slow, deliberate strokes, her tongue flicking in ways that had my entire body tense. I knew this was wrong. I knew I should stop, but I didn't. And then, just when I thought I couldn't take any more, she pulled back, her lips glistening, and stood up. "Take me to the bedroom," she whispered. I hesitated, my heart pounding. "Tiana, you know you want to." And God help me, she was right. I grabbed her wrist and pulled her up the stairs, straight to the room I shared with Vanessa. The bed we made love in. The bed our kids had crawled into on stormy nights. I didn't care. Tiana pushed me onto the bed and straddled me, her hands running down my chest. She pulled her top over her head, revealing smooth brown skin, tight curves, and a hunger in her eyes that matched my own. "You scared?" she teased. I flipped her onto her back, pinning her to the mattress. "You talk too much." She laughed, wrapping her legs around my waist. "Then shut me up." And I did. I kissed her hard, my hands roaming, gripping, exploring. She was wild, moving against me, grinding, moaning in ways that had me losing control. We didn't just have sex. We devoured each other. She pinned me to the wall, her nails digging into my back as I lifted her, driving into her, her breath hot against my neck. We did it in the shower, water running down our bodies as she pressed against the tiles, her legs wrapped around me. We did it in the car, fogging up the windows, my hands gripping her hips as she rode me in the driver's seat. And when Vanessa was at work, we did it in our bed, the sheets soaked with sweat, our bodies tangled in ways that no man should ever be with his wife's sister. I was in too deep. And worst of all, I didn't want to stop. I told myself it was a mistake, that it would never happen again. But that was a lie. I couldn't stop. Tiana had me hooked, and she knew it. It started with stolen moments, quick, desperate, and reckless. A kiss in the hallway when Vanessa was in the shower, her hand brushing over me under the dinner table, the way she'd bite her lip and wink when no one else was looking. She played her role well. To Vanessa, she was the perfect sister, helpful, kind, always willing to babysit when my wife needed rest. But when we were alone, she was a demon in my bed. Every night, my wife worked a late shift. Tiana was in our room, in my arms, in my mouth, on my lap, making me forget about right and wrong. I tried to fight it. I really did. One night, after we had just finished in the back seat of my car, her thighs still shaking, I sat back, running a hand over my face. "We got to stop this," I said, my voice hoarse. She smirked, licking her lips. "You don't mean that." "I do," I lied. She leaned in, her breath warm on my neck. "Then why do you keep coming back?" I had no answer. Tiana was the best I had ever had. The things she did to me, the way she made me feel. I had never known sex like this. It wasn't just physical. It was a drug, a high I couldn't quit. And she knew it. That's when I did something even worse. I invited her to stay. Vanessa thought it was her idea. Tiana doesn't really have anywhere stable right now, she had said one morning while packing her lunch. Maybe she should stay with us for a while. I should have said no. I should have ended everything right then. Instead, I shrugged. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. A few days later, Tiana moved in, and my life became a ticking time bomb. Having her in the house was dangerous. The tension was unbearable. Every time Vanessa turned her back, Tiana would give me that look, the one that made my blood rush south. She'd accidentally brush against me in the kitchen. She'd walk around in nothing but a tight tank top and tiny shorts, knowing damn well I was watching. And then there were the nights. Vanessa would be at work, and Tiana would slip into my bed like she belonged there. We did everything, every position, every craving, every fantasy. One night, she pinned me against the shower wall, her nails dragging down my back as the water poured over us. "You're mine," she whispered, biting my ear. Another night, I took her in the pool, her moans echoing in the backyard as she clung to me, the water splashing around us. But the worst was the night I took her in my wife's bed while Vanessa's picture sat on the nightstand. I knew I was deep in hell, but I didn't care. And then she missed her period. That's when everything changed. I stared at the pregnancy test in her hand, my mouth dry, my heart pounding so hard it echoed in my ears. 2 lines. Positive. Tiana sat on the edge of my bed. Our bed. Her legs crossed, her expression unreadable. She wasn't crying. She wasn't panicking. If anything, she looked calm. "I'm keeping it," she said, breaking the silence. I swallowed, trying to find words. "Tiana, this can't happen." She tilted her head, amused. "Oh? And what exactly do you plan to do about it?" My stomach twisted. She had me. There was no escape from this. I ran a hand over my face, pacing the room. "Vanessa can't find out." Tiana shrugged. "Then you better figure something out, Daddy." I shot her a glare, but she just smiled, stretching like a cat. "Relax. I'm not about to run to your wife and ruin my own life, but I'm not getting rid of this baby either." My whole body tensed. "You have to." She arched an eyebrow. "Oh? So you want to take me to a clinic? Sign some papers? Be responsible for that?" She laughed, shaking her head. "Nah, that's not who you are, baby. You like things easy." I clenched my fists. "I can pay you. Whatever you want. Just take care of it." Her expression changed. The amusement faded, replaced by something cold. "You think you can just throw money at this and make it disappear?" I didn't answer. She stood up, stepping closer, pressing a hand against my chest. "You love the way I make you feel, don't you?" she whispered. "You crave me. I've given you everything, and now that there's a baby, you want to act like it never happened?" I looked away, guilt clawing at my insides. "You chose this," she said, her voice softer now, but still firm. "You knew the risks, and now you're going to deal with it." I exhaled sharply, my mind racing. "We can't keep doing this. Now, we need to stop." She laughed. "You've been saying that since the first time I unzipped your jeans." She leaned in, her lips brushing my ear. "But you never stop, do you?" I closed my eyes, cursing myself. She was right. Even now, with everything crumbling around me, my body still reacted to her. I had dug my own grave. And now, I had no idea how to climb out. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, all I saw was Vanessa's face, her smile, her trust, the way she kissed me before heading off to work. And now, I was carrying a secret that could shatter everything. Tiana was pregnant. With my child, I needed a way out. The next morning, I left for work early, or at least that's what I told Vanessa. Instead, I drove around Chicago, trying to clear my head. But no matter how far I went, the truth followed me. Tiana wasn't going to get rid of the baby. She wasn't going to disappear. And worst of all, she wasn't making threats. She wasn't acting crazy. That scared me the most. She knew she had me. By noon, I parked outside a diner and dialed her number. She picked up on the first ring. "Miss me already?" I ignored the teasing in her voice. "We need to talk." "I'm home. You're home," she added, laughing. "Our home." I clenched my jaw. "I'll be there soon." When I walked through the front door, the house smelled like vanilla and breakfast. Tiana was in the kitchen, wearing a short silk robe, flipping pancakes like she was the lady of the house. I slammed the door behind me. "We need to figure this out." She turned, her expression calm. "I already have." I frowned. "What are you talking about?" She walked toward me, placing a hand on my chest. "I'm staying right here." Panic shot through me. "Number hell! No, you can't." "Why not?" She smirked. "Your wife loves having me around. The kids adore me. And you—" Her fingers trailed down my stomach, her touch dangerous. "You need me." I stepped back. "Tiana, this is serious." Her face softened. "I am serious, baby." She exhaled, shaking her head. "I'm not here to ruin your life. But I'm not leaving either. I'm carrying your child. And whether you like it or not, that makes us connected. Forever." "Forever?" The word hit me like a brick. I was trapped. And the worst part, I still wanted her. She saw the conflict in my eyes, and that damn smirk returned. You can pretend all you want, but we both know the truth." She grabbed my hand and placed it on her stomach. "This is ours. You can run, you can deny it, but at the end of the day, you belong to me now." I swallowed hard. "What do you want from me?" She leaned in, pressing her lips against my ear. "Nothing," she whispered. "And everything." I was drowning, and there was no way out. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. My life was spinning out of control, and I had no way to stop it. Tiana was pregnant. She wasn't leaving, and I was still addicted to her. Every time I tried to pull away, she pulled me right back in. Her body, her touch, the way she whispered my name in the dark, it was like she had cast a spell on me. But it wasn't just about sex anymore. This was real, and sooner or later, Vanessa was going to find out. That night, I walked into the house, and the sound of laughter greeted me. Vanessa and Tiana were sitting in the living room, wine glasses in hand, talking like best friends. "Hey, baby," Vanessa said, smiling up at me. "Tiana made dinner tonight. You hungry?" My stomach churned. How the hell was she so good at this, so perfectly pretending? Tiana met my gaze, and I saw it in her eyes, the silent reminder. "I own you now." I forced a smile. "Yeah, I could eat." Later that night, when Vanessa went to bed, Tiana found me in the hallway. "You gonna tell her?" she whispered. I shook my head. "Not now, maybe not ever." She smirked. "Good choice." I sighed, running a hand over my face. "What do you really want, Tiana? You could ruin everything, but you haven't." "Why?" She stepped closer, her lips brushing my ear. "Because, baby, this is better." I frowned. "What?" She smiled. "Having you like this, trapped, desperate, always wanting me but never being able to have me fully? That's the real power." I stared at her, realization sinking in. This was her game. She liked having control over me. She liked the secrecy, the danger, the way I was completely under her spell. And the worst part? I let her. Months passed, and the pregnancy grew harder to hide. Tiana avoided Vanessa more, staying out late, wearing looser clothes. I gave her money, hoping she'd leave town. She never did. I started sleeping in a separate room, telling Vanessa I was stressed from work. She believed me. She always believed me. But I knew my time was running out. One day, Tiana would show. One day Vanessa would start asking questions, and when that day came, I'd have to make a choice, tell the truth, or keep living the lie. But no matter what, I had already lost. I thought I could control it, that I could keep the secret buried, manage the situation like a man who had everything under control. But the truth was, the deeper I sank into this mess, the harder it was to breathe. Tiana's belly was starting to show. She was still living in my house, still playing the perfect sister-in-law, still sleeping in the guest room down the hall, and I was still sneaking in there at night when Vanessa was at work. I should have stopped. I should have walked away. But I couldn't. The sex was even better now. It was like she knew she had me by the throat, and instead of loosening her grip, she squeezed harder. One night I came home late. Vanessa was already at work, the kids asleep. I was exhausted, drained from a long shift, but the second I stepped inside, I smelled her perfume. Something sweet and dangerous, something that told me she was waiting. I found her in the kitchen, wearing nothing but one of my t-shirts, her belly slightly round now, reminding me of the growing problem between us. "You're late," she murmured, her voice dripping with seduction. I sighed, running a hand down my face. "Tiana, we need to talk," she smiled, stepping closer. "We always talk after," she whispered, reaching for my belt. I should have stopped her. I almost did. But then she dropped to her knees, unzipped my jeans, and took me into her mouth. And just like that, I lost all control again. I was spiraling. I knew it. And I knew it wouldn't be long before everything came crashing down. Tiana was getting bolder. She wasn't satisfied with our stolen nights anymore. She wanted more. I caught her watching me during dinner, smirking when Vanessa wasn't looking. She started leaving little marks on my body hidden where only I could see them. She was playing a dangerous game. And the worst part? I was letting her win. Then, one night, everything almost fell apart. Vanessa had a rare night off, so we decided to have a movie night as a family. The kids were excited, popcorn was popping, and for a moment I almost felt normal again. Then Vanessa turned to Tiana and said, You should invite someone over. You spend too much time here taking care of us." I froze. Tiana glanced at me, then smiled. "Oh, I like it here," she said, her voice dripping with something Vanessa didn't catch. But I did. I swallowed hard, forcing a laugh. "Yeah, she's been a big help." Vanessa grinned, leaning over to kiss me. "I'm glad she's here for us. I wanted to be sick." Tiana stretched out on the couch, her legs brushing against mine. I could feel the heat of her skin, could smell the faint traces of our last encounter still lingering on her. She was playing with fire, and we were about to get burned. I woke up drenched in sweat, my body tangled in the sheets. Tiana had left my bed hours ago, slipping back into the guest room before Vanessa got home from her night shift. I stared at the ceiling, my mind racing. I had crossed every line, ignored every warning, and now I was in too deep. Tiana was pregnant with my child, and sooner or later, Vanessa was going to figure it out. I tried to keep my distance. I really did. For the next few weeks, I avoided Tiana as much as I could. I left the house early, came home late, and made sure Vanessa was always around whenever we were in the same room. But she wasn't having it. One night when Vanessa was in the shower, Tiana cornered me in the kitchen. "You're avoiding me," she whispered, her voice smooth as silk. I took a step back. "We can't keep doing this," she smirked, placing a hand on her growing belly. "Kinda too late for that, don't you think?" I swallowed hard. "Tiana, we need to figure this out before Vanessa finds out. Before our lives are destroyed. Before I lose everything." But Tiana just laughed, leaning in close. "You don't want to stop," she whispered. "You love this. You love sneaking around. You love knowing she trusts you while you're giving it to me right under her nose." I clenched my fists. I can't do this anymore. She tilted her head, eyes locked on mine. Then tell her the truth. My chest tightened. You know I can't. She smiled. Then you better figure out what to do, because I'm not going anywhere. That night, I sat in my car for over an hour, staring at my phone. I had two options. One, tell Vanessa everything and pray she doesn't leave me. Two, find a way to fix this before she finds out. Tiana wouldn't get rid of the baby. She had made that clear. So that left only one option. Pay her off. Make her disappear. It was a dirty move, but it was the only way to save my marriage. But deep down, I knew the truth. Even if Tiana left, even if the secret never came out, I would never be free, because I didn't just sleep with her. I got addicted to her, and I would spend the rest of my life haunted by the choice I made. What do you think he should do? Tell his wife, or make Tiana disappear? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more crazy stories like this.